And so in less than 12 hours time, we are going to be getting part 2 of the 8th anniversary, this time bringing us 3 new characters from the 1000-year Blood War anime, Chojiro, Genryusai, and also Yachiru. These 3 characters are definitely setting up to be some of the better characters in the game, and we'll be breaking down their ban and how to best tackle these summons when they do release in less than 12 hours time. So for starters, the banner itself is available tomorrow morning from the 31st at 8 AM for me in the UK, and will be lasting until the 12th of August. Now, when the main banner does leave on the 12th of August, keep in mind that's when the individual banners do start. And individual banners, for those that aren't aware, is your next best chance to get the character once the main banner does leave, but it's also the best way to get the character if you only care about them. Because on the main banner themselves, each character will have a 0.5% pull rate, so overall a 1.5% chance to get any of the 3, but a 0.5% chance just to get the one you potentially want. I know a lot of people are mainly going for Unohana, and of course in that case, if for some reason you don't care about Chojiro, you don't care about Yamamoto, you don't care about anyone else in the banner, well in that case, Yachiru's individual, which does begin on the 12th and will last until the 18th, she's then going to have a 1% chance to be pulled here. So overall, double the chance, double the likelihood of actually getting the character. And the individual banners themselves are actually quite decent this time around. In this case, Ishin being here is really good. He's one of the better Brave Battle characters in the game. Soifun is a pretty good arena character, and Ichigo is the seasonal. That banner itself will last from the 12th to the 18th, and then that's when Yamamoto's banner then begins. In his case, his will last from the 18th to the 24th, and features Kaname, Kensei, and also Ririka. And then that's when Chojiro's banner then begins from the 24th to the 30th, with Stark, Jushira, and also Grimmjow featured in his banner. And I guess it's worth mentioning here, on the 27th of August, we are getting another Banka livestream to hype up the next end of month banner, which therefore means it's going to be another big banner, if not maybe even bigger than this banner. So if you are summoning for Chojiro, it's actually advised you wait a few days just to see what end of month is going to be before deciding to summon on his particular banner. Unfortunately, we can only do that with Chojiro, so he has that advantage, and something you can only do if you're going for this character. With that said though, let's talk about the new characters. First up, Genryusai. He is setting up to be one of the most broken and most unfair Brave Battle characters in the entire game. The way this character was designed is to counter the current best Brave Battle character, that being Yuha. And he's a direct counter. We've had counters in the past, someone like Sergeant for example, but this character really puts the nail in the coffin and is going to make sure Yuha is not going to have any fun whatsoever. And there's many reasons why he is the definitive Yuha counter. For starters, he himself is a might character with no affiliation and also Captain Killer. So he has 2 killers, therefore he's doing more damage to those particular enemies, and those 2 affiliations are some of the more prominent enemies you will see in Brave Battles. Captains, there are a lot out there, goes for himself too, and no affiliation being strictly for Yuha. But when it comes to his damage output, he has Flurry plus 2, with an additional Flurry plus 1, so Flurry plus 3 as a whole for the first 10 seconds in Brave Battles, and then every time an ally or an enemy is defeated, he then gets an additional 20% no-attack damage. His damage output's already high to begin with, but then gets even higher as you start to defeat enemies. It's absolutely insane. Alongside that, he actually is invincible for the first 10 seconds, can go for invincibility, can prevent last ditch. Under half stamina, he decreases the damage he takes by 50%, and has Poison Pierce Barrier. He essentially has like every Brave Battle skill you could ask for, but at the same time, he also does guaranteed to inflict stat ailments against any heart no affiliation enemy, aka Yuha. And this is really important because he himself can actually inflict burn and also lacerate, so when you do inflict the stat ailment, both of those damage over time stat ailments will be doing damage to the character, but lacerate also means that he will not be able to use any strong attacks. And that's important because Yuha's main utility in a team, in Brave Battles more so, is the fact that he is actually boosting your team stats by 43%. Well, if you're up against Genryusai, Genryusai for the most part should be stopping Yuha from even using that boost, and most likely defeating Yuha before the lacerate can even wear off, where he can then use his boost SA2. And that will also hurt his teammates because they aren't getting the boost defensive focus increase, but Yamamoto's SA2 can also lower their attack, focus, and defense by 33%. So Genryusai is designed to take out one of the best characters in Brave Battles while also debuffing the entire team, making it easier for himself and your 2 allies to defeat their opponents. This character is absolutely broken and without a doubt going to be an absolute force to deal with in Brave Battles, to the point that I might actually start avoiding him if I don't have a good counter setup. And as of right now, there's barely any counters besides himself. He's a really great character in Brave Battles that can see some extra usage outside of Brave Battles since he was also given Marauder, so you can have definitely some fun with him, but strictly speaking, most of his gameplay will be in the Brave Battle game modes. Next up, we have Yachiru, setting up to be one of the best characters in the entire game, and a character that's going to be sought after for many reasons. For starters, she herself is a speed Soripa and also Captain Killer. And this is a pretty good killer combination, mainly in Guild Quest though, as Captain Killers are very rare, and she's going to be one of the better characters for that particular Guild Quest, but she's going to be great in any other piece of content, because she has really high damage output. For starters, she has Frenzy plus 2, 20% more damage when at full stamina, an additional 20% strong attack damage, and when she does inflict the stat element, she then gets an 80% stat boost to a spiritual pressure stat. But that's not all. Every time you defeat an enemy, you then get an extra 2% more damage. This is from the Rampage skill, and it caps at 100%. So once you defeat 50 enemies, which isn't really going to be that hard to do, and this skill is more so designed for Arena, Guild Quest, and also the new Limit Breaker game modes. So in those particular game modes, you can get her max damage output fairly quick, and that's going to allow you to hit really hard. But even in certain quests that you clear fast and can't get her max damage output from the Rampage skill, that's perfectly fine, because a 20% Berserker, 20% full stamina, 80% SP boost and Frenzy plus 2 with the strong attack she does have is perfectly fine. But to go alongside that really high damage output, she has a lot of great utility effects too. Havoc plus 20%, Poise, Long Stride, Marauder, she's immune to every stat element. Every time you move to another map, she heals your team by 20%. And when at full stamina, she also gets an extra 6% recharge, which is important because her SA3 is a trap mechanic. Now, a lot of people have been downplaying this SA3 mainly because Mayuri also has it, but Mayuri isn't really the greatest example. Her SA3 is completely different and is literally the best strong attack 3 in the entire game. It's an 1170 AoE in front of her, which is really good, and it's great to finally see this type of strong attack be put on a powerhouse character like this Yachiru. And this trap mechanic actually works in her favor because it does actually place a puddle on the floor, which has a very high chance of actually inflicting a stat element, which is good for her to then get her 80% SP boost. Overall, this Unohana is going to be one of the more fun characters in the entire game, definitely the highlight character in the banner, and that's without even mentioning the fact that she's also a really good soul trait, the first character ever to have 2 soul traits in the entire game base release. Not resurrectable. In this case, she's a recharge and also 20% strong attack damage soul trait, one of the best links in the entire game, especially for the speed attribute. That goes for herself, and she even gets better in Arena, where she then picks up even more recharge, and also the start power item plus 2 skill. So overall, Yachiru is going to be great in any piece of content, IT, Limit Breaker, Guild Quest, more specifically the Captain Guild Quest, which has desperately needed a character like her. And I guess just to throw that out there too, she's also going to be the best auto character when it comes to point event if you're trying to just clear significantly fast. Given the fact that she has Poise, a 3000 length beam SA1 with the extra recharge, she is going to be non-stop using that SA1, and that's great, just like we see with the Spirits Arthur with Yuretsu. An amazing character, nothing but praise. Can't wait to potentially pull her starting tomorrow morning. And then lastly, we have Chojiro, a technique story bar with the Quincy kill ability. In his case, he's going to be a farming character. That's the main place you're going to use him. That's the main reason why you want to use him. But at the same time, he does make for a good support character that might get better in the future. For starters, his soul trait is speed droplet drop rate by 30%. So you can use it as a link to get more droplets. That also goes for himself when you're actually playing with the character. And looking at his other farming abilities, he has plus 5 links or potions, and for the first time, guaranteed plus 10 speed droplets. This therefore makes him the best droplet farmer in the game. So if you want to farm droplets, you can be really good for that particular aspect, while also just being a speed links or farmer. But when it comes to how good the character actually is, when it comes to his damage output, he has Frenzy plus 2. He does 40% more damage to paralyzed enemies, while also doing an additional 40% more damage to any enemy affected by an ailment, and he can actually buff that to his other characters in the team if they are a technique storybar. In addition to that, he has a 60% devastation, and once more another team party buff, technique attribute character special move damage plus 30%. And focusing on those two particular skills, the 30% storm damage that he can give to your entire team, and the 40% more damage to enemies affected by an ailment that once more he can give to the entire team, is really good for just potential nuking if we get a new technique nuker. If you saw our showcase where we single-handedly used a soul bomb to clear all 5 waves of Guild Quest with 7th anniversary years ago, that was possible due to 2 characters. Mayuri giving us the 40% more damage to enemies affected by an ailment, and White giving us 30% more damage on our soul bomb. Well, this Chojiro does both of those things in one character, which I think is really good. As of right now, the main Guild Quest nuker that is technique based is actually Epic Ichigo. So if you do like nuking with him and you have no better option, throwing in a Chojiro, even if he doesn't have killer, is going to be really good here because he does give a significant damage increase to those particular Soripers, like Epic Ichigo, for example. But to go alongside that too, the character itself does have an increased chance to inflict stat elements, and that's going to help him make use of that extra 80% damage that he will be doing to paralyzed enemies. So overall damage output really isn't going to be an issue. He's an overall solid character, great team supporter, one of the best in the entire game, can definitely make use of those two particular skills, and he also doubles down as a farmer. Not a super amazing farmer, I must say. The droplet increase is nice, and I do appreciate them trying to do more with droplet increase characters, but droplet increase characters aren't as good when compared to links or potion characters and also super links or potion characters. And while he can increase the amount of links or potions you can get, it's only by +5. I'm sure within the next 4 or so months we're probably going to get someone else that can do +10 links or potions for the speed attribute. So while this is a good character, when it comes to his farming potential, I'm definitely going to replace him the second that +10 links or potion character comes out, and I'd only really be strictly using him for the droplet increase, which for a lot of players out there, you probably don't even need. So overall, solid character, is a farmer, but in the farming aspect might get replaced sometime in the future. And that's it for the main 3 banner characters. The other characters banner features 6 more 1000 Year Blood characters because this is a 25-step format. In Ishin's case, he is a speed Soriba captain with the hollow kill ability, good set of strong attacks, low damage output, low survivability. Masaki, probably the character that's aged the best in this entire filler pool, mainly because NAD characters as a whole haven't evolved as much. But in her case, she has a good NAD string, good damage output, and can also boost your team while also providing a barrier. Main usage will be in the ranged and no affiliation guild quests, and then Ryukin is a power Quincy with the Serpent kill ability. He has a somewhat mediocre strong attack kit and a somewhat low damage output. Now is once more a team support character, boost and barrier on her SA2, does have the Espada killer, and that's where you're mainly going to be using her. Gremmy, good set of strong attacks, low damage output, usable like most of the characters in this banner, but nothing super crazy. And then same goes for Lie, good set of strong attacks, somewhat low damage output, and unfortunately can't inflict any stat elements. Fun characters, mainly collector's items though, let's be honest. When it comes to the banner format, it is a usual banner format, so step 25, bunch of discounts, bunch of guarantees, but that's actually noteworthy because usually part 2 of the anniversary is always a 7-step banner. And this format is significantly better than what we had with part 1 and what we usually get for part 2. In this case though, the reason why it is good is that step 1, 6, 11, 16, and 21 are discounted at 150 orbs, while step 2, 7, 12, 17, and 22 are discounted at 200 orbs. Every 5th step upwards to step 25 guarantees you a featured character, which of course includes one of these 9 characters. So if you do end up doing 25 steps, there's a good chance you're going to walk away with a banner character from that guaranteed step. So overall, the 3 banner characters are great. The banner format is great that it's not a 7-step banner. The fillers definitely could be better, and realistically again, you're mainly pulling for these 3. I do think this banner is still a must summon. While it's true we are getting another big banner at the end of the month, you could still potentially summon on these characters and then save up enough also next month's end of month banner. But overall, all 3 characters offer a lot on your account. Genryusai, really good brave battle character. Chojiro, a farmer, great team supporter. And then Yachiru being one of the best speed characters in the entire game and just looks to be super fun most importantly. For me, since it is a 25-step banner, I would definitely be doing at least all 25 steps, and then maybe decide where I'm going to go after that. My main goal for this banner is to get all 3. Genryusai because he does look quite dominant in Brave Battles, Chojiro to use him in the current 8th anniversary co-op quest, and then Yachiru because she is one of my favorite characters from this arc. I do plan to get Yachiru 5-5 also for guild quest purposes, so once I do 25 steps, if I haven't already gotten her 5-5, I will then go on into her individual banner. That's my summon plan. In the console below, let me know how you like to plan to summon on this banner tomorrow, but keep in mind we will be live when the banner does go live, so feel free to hop in and summon with me. With that said, hope you guys enjoyed the video, good luck on your summons tomorrow, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.